This comes from a real-life event where 1 in 3 people sitting in prison today is not a murderer, not a violent criminal, but someone struggling with gambling addiction. And what do? We lock them away at huge taxpayer expense only for them to come back out and reoffend because the root problem was never solved. Honorable judges and worthy opponents, today I stand firmly in support of this motion. This House would give social service and skill training for gambling offenders rather than imprisonment. Evidence shows us that rehabilitation works, imprisonment fails, and society pays the price when we ignore the data. In this motion, gambling offenders are referring to people convicted of illegal gambling and not just casual players. Social service and skill training is a community service with programs, and in this context is addiction therapy. And imprisonment is a court-ordered sanction for committing a criminal offense. Now, the opposition team might say that rehabilitation is too soft and slowly removing deterrence. Evidence shows deterrence doesn't work well for addiction-driven crimes. Gambling, like drugs, is often compulsive. Harsh punishments don't stop addiction, and it is not an impossibility that the prisoners are still able to gamble even in prison. Opposition team might also say that there is now evidence that rehabilitation programs work on gambling offenders. Data shows that imprisonment fails to address the root of gambling-related crimes. Nearly 30.8% of prisoners suffers from gambling problems, and gambling severity is directly linked to higher reoffending rates. Yet global prison recidivism remains at 50 until 70%, while countries that emphasize rehabilitation like Norway keep reoffending to just 20 until 25%. Evidence also proves that educational and vocational programs reduce recidivism up to 45%, and every $1 invested saves $4 until $5 in incarceration costs. Social service adds further value by making offenders repay communities directly instead of draining public funds. Crucially, gambling offenders are non-violent. So imprisonment, designed for dangerous criminals, is disproportionate and counterproductive, especially in overcrowded systems like Indonesia, where prisons are already operate at nearly double capacity. Rehabilitation and skill training address addiction, restore dignity, reduce time, and save taxpayers' money. In conclusion, rehabilitation through social service and skill training is a more effective and compassionate approach to addressing gambling addiction rather than imprisonment. Let us prioritize support and empowerment over punishment and work towards creating a more just and compassionate society. Thank you.